Find the slopes for the line segments AB, AC, AD, and AE, given the coordinates for points A, B, C, D, and E. The slope of a line segment is simply a measure of its steepness. The change in the vertical direction, called the rise, per change in the horizontal direction, called the run. We use the symbol M to denote the slope. Given a line segment with the endpoints at P1, x1, y1, and P2, x2, y2, the slope is equal to rise divided by run. Note that the rise is the change in the y coordinates and the run is the change in the x coordinates. Unlike the distance formula, the order that the x and y coordinates are subtracted is important. If using y2 minus y1 for the numerator, it's very important to use x2 minus x1 for the denominator. Don't switch them and use x1 minus x2. First of all, for line segment AB, we first have to plot the points. A at -6, 3, and B at 6, 8. M is equal to the change in the y coordinates, y2 minus y1, this is 8 minus 3, divided by the change in the x coordinates, x2 minus x1. This is given from 6 minus -6. This gives a result of 5/12 for the slope of line segment AB. Note that positive slopes will always slant upwards as moving to the right. Next, line segment AC. Here, we've already plotted point A. We must plot point C at -1, -8. Again, using the formula for slope, y2 minus y1 is -8 minus 3, divided by x2 minus x1, -1 minus -6. This gives a result of -11/5 for the slope. And note here that negative slopes will always slant downwards as moving right. Next, for AD. Again, we must first plot point D at 8, 3, and then use the slope formula. The change in the y coordinates, 3 minus 3. Note in this case, the y coordinates are equal for points A and D. And then the change in the x coordinates, 8 minus -6. This gives a result of 0/14, which is equal to 0. Note here that horizontal line segments always have a slope of 0. Finally, line segment AE. Again, plotting point E at -6, -5, and using the formula for slope, y2 minus y1 is -5 minus 3, divided by x2 minus x1, -6 minus -6. Notice that in this case, the denominator is 0. Note that we cannot have division by 0. That means that this slope is undefined. Note that vertical line segments will always have an undefined slope. This is because the run, which is on the denominator, will always be 0.